guys? Ultimate Toy Collector here at New York Comic Con 2015 with Winston from Winston Executive Replicas. Winston, can you, I see we got Stan Lee here, we got Lady Action, we got some amazing pieces of work here. Can you give our audience a little rundown of what we could expect here at the booth and where they might be able to pick these amazing pieces up from?
Well, basically all pieces are available at executivereplicas.com. We sell retail as well as wholesale. And start off with Stan Lee. This figure was actually licensed through DOS Toys. They came to us asking us if we wanted to do the figure. I figured, you know, being a huge comic book collector, I would do it. So we did the figure. It did very well, sold out in pre-order. So we had a few left here, so we brought them to the show. And next is Sadistic, the European anti-hero. I'm a huge fan of the European anti-heroes from the 60s. Little violent, but I like the design with the skeleton outfit and everything, so we decided to do that. One of my favorite characters and actresses of all time is Carolyn Monroe. Growing up, I thought she was the most beautiful woman out, one of the most beautiful women out there. So I know her, and I spoke to her about doing her figure, so we went and did her figure, and we used the Phicen seamless body with the metal armature. It's a silicone type material. It still has all the 30 points of articulation. It is the next step up in the evolutionary stage of action figures.
And it feels almost real when you touch
feels like
it, right?
It's weird. If it was warm, it would feel like real flesh. But you know,
that is a beautiful piece right there.
Yeah, thank you. I take great pride in that one. It's one of the ones I wanted to do for a very, very long time, and she gave us the rights and the license to go ahead and did it. And you know, she just landed not too long ago, and everyone that's purchased her has been very pleased. Next to her is Lady Action. That was came out not too long ago, sold out. We worked with Go Hero and Captain Action to come up with that wonderful piece. And, you know, she did very well. So I have a couple left, brought them to the show. Another one of my favorites is Rocket Man. Grew up watching the syndicated serials and on Saturdays. You know, without Rocket Man, I don't think you would ever had the Rocketeer. It's a classic look. It's pre-steampunk. It has that steampunk look to it with the rivets and the metal. Mm-hmm. This one I went a little bit far. I've made them most of the accessories out of metal, where I could have went and made them out of injection molded plastic. But I figure an iconic piece like this, everything that I do, I want to have it in a museum, and I think this would fit in any museum anywhere. So
that adds a different quality to the figure that the metal pieces, rather than just the injected.
Right. Plus, it also adds a nice more retail
yes,
price.
It does.
But,
yes, it does.
You know, the people that are going to buy this are the ones that grew up watching it. They have an intimate
relationship with
the character. They grew up with it. So, you know, I did it because I have a relationship with the character. So that's what I did. Over here is the prototype for the 1/6 scale space pod from Lost in Space. We should be able to get her out mid to late next year. It has all lights, motors, interior lights, and you can fit the figures inside of it. So it's an interactive vehicle that goes with the 1/6 scale figures. A lot of the large vehicles you can't interact the 1/6 scale figures. I grew up with the 12-inch GI Joe world, where you had the figures and all the accessories and
all the vehicles that fit.
So it makes sense to me when doing 1/6 scale with a series and license like Lost in Space, where they had the Chariot, the Jupiter 2. It seems like a no-brainer to do the space pod and the Chariot.
Now, what will the price point be on that?
Well, that's to be discussed. We have an option of making them here in the United States, which will bring the retail price really high. But I can also do them in China and bring the price down. But it's still gonna be a hefty price.
Okay.
So let's move on down.
Now these look absolutely amazing.
Well, this is Craig Welch. This is his series. He came to us, showed us all the publicity stuff, the people that were involved, and you know, some of the character designs are pretty cool. So we decided to let's give it a shot and do the action figures. They should be available next year. So the only two are missing are the females, but we should have them up for display very soon.
And you said they're not no set date yet.
No
right?
set date. No.
Okay.
No set date on that.
And these are all prototypes.
These are all prototypes
Okay.
here.
This one right here. Oh my God! Looking at that armor, that looks amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of detail work in this. You can see.
Very intricate.
Very intricate. A lot of work went into it.
And full articulation.
Well, because of the armor here so far, we don't know if we're going to do the seamless body and paint it this color and then add the detail, or try to do something that's flexible and put it over the thing. So we're in the prototype stage right now. Now we're going to try to see how it's going to work out.
Okay. And that's for the 3 back figures, obviously not this one.
Well, this one is not one that's going to be made. This is just something that he wanted to have, a figure of him to push, because this is his idea, this is his baby, and he's very emotional about it and very tied into it. He's put a lot of work and effort into a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So he's the hero here in bringing this to the public.
And these 2 ladies, we can expect to see them in the future.
Yes.
Okay. Where you're working on those right now.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And then next is a classic Bela Lugosi from the film The Phantom Creeps with his creation, the robot. This is a 1/6 scale. It's a 2-pack. This will probably be available, I would say, probably the end of the year, January. Price point on it is probably going to be around $250 to $300. The robot is 100% made in the United States. Actually, this figure was on the list to do about 2-3 years ago, and then something happened, and I got put on the back burner. But this piece is this whole box set is probably about 80% made in the United States. The heads are made in the United States. The clothing was made in the United States. Bodies I got in from China, and this was started before I had partnered up with Phicen. So, and this is what's coming out 2016. This is what we.
That Red Sonja, oh my God.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
Well, the Red Sonja, I've been trying to get the license for the last 2-3 years. Finally, I got the license, and I've been working with the licensor, and he finally gave us the approval. And she comes with the thing. It comes with all the accessories, the swords, the shield, the fur coat that covers her body. And again, we're using the Phicen body with the metal armature. It's unbelievable. We've been getting nothing but crazy praise about it. It's just an incredible piece. I mean, if you get a close-up of the face, she's beautiful, but still holding that feel that she can, she's a warrior.
Now, using the Phicen body are the metal
Armature
on it. It will be molded to the body, or is that like removable? I know some of the Phicen.
No, you can't remove it. If you remove it, you damage the skin. I mean,
okay.
if you cut it open, of course you can take out
Obviously.
the armature, but
okay.
no, it's not something where you can take it out of the body and then put it in another body. It's surrounded. It's cast that way.
It's cast that way.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, actually molded that way. Yes.
Gotcha.
And next to it, we were proud to present the first ever 1/6 scale Frazetta Death Dealer. Frazetta is known worldwide for his fantasy art from the 60s and 70s. He actually pretty much he's the godfather of fantasy art, in my opinion. And a few years ago, one of his original artworks sold for $1 million, which was the first time ever in history that a fantasy original art sold for $1 million.
Wow.
So the piece was approved by the Frazetta estate, and he should be ready for pre-orders probably the end of the year. Early January.
And are we looking at 2 versions of the Death Dealer right there, or the one in the back?
Well, the one in the front is the one that we're going to come out with first. The second one might be an exclusive, and we might be doing something directly involved with the Frazetta estate, where they sell that piece and we sell this piece. So that's still up in the air. But these are the two options that they're going with. There's also a third option that we're considering. Actually making a seamless metal armature horse that the Death Dealer sits on.
Nice.
Now, of course, the horse will be able to fit other applications, but we would like to debut that, if we do that, with the Death Dealer.
So as a 2-pack?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, now the next one is Arhian, which is from a company, ARH, who does the really large Frazetta statues and other statues, and we just love their sculptures and original characters, and we wanted to do this because it fit the barbarian sword and sorcery genre that we're really focusing on now. So we decided to go ahead and work with them, and they're very pleased with it. Everyone that's come to the booth have seen it. They're very pleased with it. So there's a good chance that we're going to probably be doing more figures from their line.
And is this body Is this a Phicen body as
Yes,
well?
mostly all the new female figures outside of Lost in Space are all using the Phicen seamless bodies. If it shows skin, we're going to go with the Phicen bodies. When I get to the Lost in Space, I'll explain why we don't use the seamless bodies on that. The Huntress is a direct figure that's sold through Phicen, and she uses a seamless body as well. And that was released, I think, early this year. And again, she fits into the category of the sword and sorcery. And right above them is the famous Steve Reed's Hercules. This is a joint venture between Phicen and Go Hero.
That's an amazing piece right there.
Steve Ford acquired the license, and and we worked together with Steve Ford and Go Hero on a lot of the projects. We collaborated together. Steve Ford and myself, we came to work together by being burnt by a lot of factories out in China. So we joined forces, and then luckily a couple of years ago, I had the great honor of meeting Johnson, the owner of Phicen, and we sat down and had a very in-depth meeting about where we wanted to go, what we wanted to do, and he was on the same page. And outside of him being a factory, he's also an artisan, so he understands the whole premise of everything. He's just not a factory doing production and that's it. So he should be available probably early 2016.
And price point on them?
Well, all these pieces are going to be around the $200 range.
Okay.
Outside of this is the new muscle body, the new muscle seamless body that Phicen just came out with, and we're using that for these figures. Also coming out next year is the Silver Warrior from the Frazetta line, and we're also working on the Huntress from the Frazetta line. We're developing the Frazetta seamless body, the seamless body designed after Frazetta's woman. His women are very full-figured.
I see. All the women are very, very robust.
Right, but no, more full-figured than this. Okay. I mean, so we have that's a specific body design that we're working on now, and we should have that by mid to late 2016.
Okay.
Moving on over is one of my other favorites, to the 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is we're still pending approval from Warner Brothers. We had gotten the license rights for the likeness of Keir Dulier and Gary Lockwood, and we're doing the 1/6 scale figures of the astronauts. We're also be coming out with quarter scale statues and life-size action figures with removable suits of the astronauts.
That's amazing.
And then below that is the Lost in Space line, one of my favorites. I didn't get a chance to take the silver astronaut out and put it on top, so just disregard that. But okay. Will Robinson and Penny Robinson was just approved, so we should have them up for pre-order in about 45 days. John Robinson with the jetpack is up for pre-order now. He should be released probably the end of the year, early January. Price point on the Will Robinson, Penny, and Judy are about $160. John Robinson with the jetpack is about $180.
Can we expect to see the robot?
Well, we want to do the robot. We want to do the family, or the whole entire family first, and a couple of aliens, and the vehicles, and then we'll talk about the robot. The robot's a very in-depth, very expensive development, and we have other options that we're talking about right now, which I can't discuss. But our plans are to have a 1/6 scale robot.
Nice.
Below that is the Verda, one of the aliens. She's up for pre-order now. Judy Robinson, but she hasn't been final approval yet on that. So we will do some minor adjustments and get the final approval on that, and then start releasing them.
Down below.
And just below that is the Spider action figure, the pulp character. A lot of people confuse the Spider with the Shadow. We did the Shadow a couple of years ago, and we did Doc Savage. Shadow sold out. Doc Savage is almost sold out. The Spider will be available at the end of the year.
When I first looked at it, I actually did think it was the Shadow.
Well, a lot of people think that the problem is the Spider came out before the Shadow, and that's a lot of people think the Shadow was the first one, and it wasn't. It was the Spider. The Spider was the actual first pulp character that came out with that look. And it also comes with the mask and the cape that the character wore in the serials. So you'll be able to change up if you want to.
And right next to
right next to is Wilma Deering from Buck Rogers. That's a Go Hero direct license. Go Hero did a Buck Rogers 1/6 scale figure years ago, and I think it's one of the best figures ever made. And actually, that's how I came to meet Steve Ford of Go Hero. I saw the pictures of the of the Buck Rogers, and I fell in love with it before I even bought it. I contacted him by email, then we started speaking on the phone, and we saw that we had a lot of similar interests. We liked the older stuff, 70s and below, sci-fi, horror, and we just started, you know, let's team up together and start, you know, doing work. And in the process, with all the good and bad things that have happened, we've come to this point with working with Phicen, and now we have a really good working relationship between all of us.
I see you got she up there in several different styles. They look amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
Well, Bill Tucci, a good friend of mine. I knew Bill. I grew up knowing Bill. I used to go see Bill at the New York Coliseum about 20 years ago when he started out with the independent sheet book. And I always said if I ever got to do my own business, I would want to do figures. Fast forward, you know, 15, 20 years later, I got my own business and I wanted to do the figures. So we came out with the first sheet figure, did very well.
The classic costume.
The classic costume, we did very well. Then we came out, we just released the battle armor, and that's doing very well. Now Tome, which is her nemesis, she's out now, and she's doing pretty good. And she with the kimono will be available next year.
Will that be an exclusive, or
we're not sure if it's going to be an exclusive. We're talking with Billy right now about it. I'm also doing Victoria Cross from Bill Tucci's collection, and we have licenses with Billy to do action figures from upcoming books that he's working on.
Lady Death.
Death.
I grew up reading the Lady Death comic.
Yep.
See that statue is absolutely amazing.
Well,
even the base.
Well, people can't believe we were able to get the skin that white. They think it's a statue, and it's not. It's a fully posable figure, a seamless body, and you know, it's just incredible. You know, you don't really see this. And a lot of the other action figure companies are not doing this like that. And
these bodies are absolutely amazing.
They are. They're beautiful. You know,
fully posable.
Fully posable. I mean, it's hard to describe it. You really have to have one in your hand and mess around with it to fully appreciate and see the quality and the craftsmanship that's put in this. This is not some type of rubber material that's put on a plastic armature. This thing is made to last years. Below that is Sheena, another classic character. We tried to do the Irish McKellar version, but it wasn't working out for us, so we did like a generic type version. And she looks great. I think she looks really great. And below that is the most ever popular and classic Betty Page, and one of my other favorites. I've had the license to do that for many, many years. The first company that I had to produce that ripped me off, so I had to wait. And actually, it was a blessing because if I would have done it the original way, she would have came out with joints, and with seams. With Phicen seamless body, I've been able to create her in her likeness using the seamless body, and it adds that extra classic look to it. She's fully posable. She'll come out with 3 different accessory packs that you could purchase separate. A lot of people don't know most of the outfits that Betty Page wore in her photo shoots, she designed herself. Most of them, not all of them. So every time we release a figure, we're going to have a different accessory pack you can wear. You can interchange her. We're trying to treat her like the adult Barbie, where you can actually change the clothing up and pose it differently.
Now, do you plan on doing any other classic pin-up type models?
Well, we have the Gil Elfgren license to do the pin-ups that he drew back in the day. We should have those next year. Outside of that, that's really the only pin-ups that we have, because to me, there's only other pin-up but Betty Page. Also, we have a license with Xenoscope. They have some really great character designs. As you see on top, these are some of the characters from their line. Again, all using the seamless bodies. A lot of accessories, great looks. And the Helsing is available now. It's going to be available shortly, as well as Robin Hood, and then the other characters will follow shortly.
Mary Dante looks amazing.
Yeah, if you get close up on that face, she's like a real person. Most of them look like a real person if you get up close.
You could, with the seamless bodies, you could pose them and take pictures, and you wouldn't know the difference.
No, you won't. No, you won't. A lot of people were, criticizing us, thinking that that we took it to almost like a perverted level. And I'm like, no. we try to capture the image that we see in the picture, and there's nothing perverted about that. If you have a female that's showing some skin, we're not referring to nudity. We're just talking about showing skin. You don't want to have an action figure as a collector. You don't want to have an action figure that you can see the joints, because you don't see joints in any of the photographs or the films that these figures were based on.
Now over here, you got it looks like Catwoman.
Well, no, it's not Catwoman. Let's quickly fit. Well, actually, let's go down below. We have Stormy Tempest, which is an independent comic book character. We like the design of the character, so we decided to give it a shot to see how we do. So, she's in the process of being, she's in pre-order status right now. And next to is the Valkyrie from Blue Water. That's a character, again, we like the design of the character. It looks great. It fits in our fantasy, sword and sorcery genre, so we decided to do that. And then Z-Girl, we saw Z-Girl at last year's New York Comic Con, an independent company. And Johnson, the owner of Phicen, really liked the design of that and felt that he would like to try that. It was something new with the color of the skin tone and the painting on the actual skin. It was a challenge, and I think we won the challenge. I think she came out great. Everyone that's seen her looks great. The accessories, again, using the Phicen body fully articulated.
I love the accessories with a lot of these. The body obviously looks great, but the accessories are definitely a plus. How about over here in this last cabinet?
Okay, well, we have, again, with Blue Water, we have the license for them to do their comic books, and the Julie Newmar, Adam West, and Eartha Kitt are from their comic book line. So we have a license with the comic book company where these figures are from the comic books. They're not from any TV show, and it's not licensed or approved by any other company. It's through Blue Water.
Strictly through the comic, okay.
And then below that is Vincent Price and Boris Karloff as the executioner. Again, classic actors, classic looking figures. Being that I grew up with these actors and being a household name, I had to do the figures and just get them out there to the public. I have to keep the images and the memory of these actors and the characters that they played alive. And the only way to do that is through merchandising, because these shows and these movies are not being seen normally and regularly on cable. You can find them on the internet, but I grew up watching these things in syndication on television every Friday and Saturday night, so they were household names. Today, the younger generation don't really know these actors, so we're hoping to work in that demographic, but basically my customers that purchase these are up there in the age. Yes.
They're before my time, but I did grow up with watching Vincent Price and Boris and obviously Adam West. Those Adam West dolls are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they're great. He's up for pre-order right now. He should be out by Christmas, if not January. And then Julie Newmar and Eartha Kitt will be available right after.
Could we possibly see a suit for Adam West?
More than likely, no. We don't want to play with...
He has a suit on, but...
Right, no, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
We don't want to
play with that.
We don't want to mess with the sleeping bear, so
gotcha.
No. We're doing off the comic books.
And how about?
And then below we have Dead World of King Zombie. And the funny thing about it, before the zombie craze took place, this was an independent comic book in the 80s, and it was really independent. And I actually collected the book, and it kind of went away for a while. And then when the zombie craze came back, they came back, and I said, listen, we have to do the King Zombie, because that was
time for it.
It's a perfect time. Everything right now, a couple years ago everything was vampires. Now everything is zombies. So that's the new the zombies are the new vampires. And right next to is the Dark Queen from Xenoscope.
Comic book based.
Comic book based from all comic book based. Now, Executive Replicas, we had license from the actors for the original Night of the Living Dead. We did the Cemetery Zombie, we did Ben, and we did we did the other female from Night of the Living Dead, and the Cemetery Zombie sold out. That sold out a long time ago. The female sold out, and we're actually working on getting the little girl zombie.
Nice. Could we see a re-release of the sold out zombies?
We might. I have to talk to the. We have to talk to the family about it. So, you know, that's all in the work. And below that's just the generic Red Riding Hood figure that Phicen came out with last year. We just had it here. We figured it kind of looked really cool and sexy, so we decided to.
Head looks awesome.
So we did that, and yeah, so you know, it's a great joint venture. You know, Phicen and Executive Record teamed up. We worked together with Go Hero, and we have a lot of things. We made a lot of contacts at the New York Comic Con. So we have a lot of possible new characters that'll be coming out next year. So just keep on the lookout, man. We're making a stink in the industry.
Well, thank you. Everything here is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
I love so many of these. I think I'm gonna go broke. You guys like these figures? You got to check them out. They're absolutely amazing. If you're here at New York Comic Con, stop by the booth. And I hope you guys are enjoying it. And check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, The Ultimate Toy Collector. Thank you, guys.